let's get started with this presentation. This is going to be about the residential products that we have, the doorbell, the floodlight, and the intercom kits. We are going to be talking about these units mostly on the technical side of things, how to connect to it, how to register it, how to enroll it on the cellular and on the mobile app. I'm sorry, and also how to enable the features on it. So again, it's going to be about product presentation, installation guide, and configuration mostly. Okay, so let's get started with the first one, the TD-IPV ICA. It's our doorbell unit. It's a very nice, slim unit. It's easy to work with, and it's compatible with pretty much many or all of those intercoms, or no, I'm sorry, not intercoms, but the doorbells out there. The regular standard mechanical or electrical doorbells that are installed with in homes with a little button there to ring the doorbell. This is compatible with those. It's a very nice 1080p high definition, 140 horizontal angle of view camera. That is a 1.9 millimeter lens. It's got the PIR, the passive infrared for motion detection. Again, as I said before, it works with existing chimes, right? It's a Wi-Fi unit. So in addition to that, this particular doorbell, it's great because you can connect to any of our recorders for 24/7 recording. This unit in particular has the ability to record in itself to an SD card, but also you can connect it to any of our recorders, DVRs or MVRs, for continuous 24/7 recording, okay? Of course, it'll connect directly to the Toughdog Viewer Pro app on Android and iOS to get the notifications and to establish the two-way communication in between the unit and you. So let me show you the basically the diagram of the unit. So at the very top of it, you get the PIR detection zone, right? Then you have your wide angle view camera. You also have a couple of IRs that you cannot necessarily see here, but they're there for night vision. Then the loudspeaker, then the button here, you see actually a little bell there. So that's what you will press to ring this, and the microphone at the very bottom, right? Now, at the bottom of the unit, you also have the security screw that will prevent people from ripping it away from the wall. And on the rear side, you have your micro SD card slot, also the reset button, and then the two terminals for power input. Now, as I said before, this unit is compatible with existing door chimes, and this unit is also good for AC power, 16 to 24 volts AC, and DC 12 to 24 volts DC. So it's got a very wide range so that you can power the unit. And that's what makes it compatible with many other units out there. So how to wire this unit? This is also, again, one of the most important things that we want to talk about. We want to talk about installing these units because sometimes people have a little bit of a hard time picturing or deciphering how hard it is to connect this unit to the actual existing chimes. So the reality is that it isn't hard. It's actually very easy. It really comes down to your configuration. If you have 1, 2, 3 chimes or different doorbells in the house, but we'll show you through this presentation how to connect, right? So you have to remove the back cover from the mechanical chime to expose the electrical terminals, right? And then, of course, it's always make sure that it's always good to make sure that you power down from the breaker circuit the existing chime so that you don't get any shorts or you don't harm yourself while doing this, right? So basically, the two terminals that you're going to be using the most are these, the front and the trans. Okay, that's what you're going to be connecting to your existing electrical chime, front and trans. Okay, now let me show you. This is pretty much the little diagram that will you will follow in order to connect these two electrical chimes, right? So you get your doorbell here, regular existing doorbell connecting to your power transformers, which will be also connected to the trans and the front of the actual unit, right? Now, if you want to connect these doorbell to the unit, then basically you're gonna have to install these chime kits. This chime kit comes with the doorbell, and basically the only thing you're gonna have to do is you're gonna wire these terminals to the transom front of the chime, the existing chime, right? And then you're gonna replace your existing doorbell for the Toughdog IPv-ICA, right? The doorbell unit. Pretty much connecting them in series. So from the doorbell goes to your power source. From the power source, it'll go to the trans, which will go into the chime kit, come back to the front, and then go back into your doorbell. Okay, so with that, you should be able to make this work. Whenever you push that button there, you will get the electrical chime to function. Okay. If you have multiple buttons in your configuration, these will be the diagram to follow. So, you see here that your chime is going to be connected to the rear and the front, the chime kit, and then also to the trans, right? And at the same time, these are going to be connected pretty much in parallel to the transformer, which will be connected to the doorbell. Okay. If you have a little more complicated scenarios, let us know. We should be able to assist you. Juan Carlos actually has an actual doorbell there with a diagram in his office. So if you have any questions, regarding connection, please feel free to give us a call and we'll be happy to help you out. Okay, so how to connect these doorbell to the phone app? It's very easy, guys. We have also seen some updates on both the phone app and the doorbell, and this has made the configuration process a lot easier. Now, a couple of things to consider here are that one, the Toughdog Viewer app, although it is still installed in many of our customers' phone, is no longer good. We have not been servicing that app for the last year and a half or so. So make sure that you download and connect the doorbell to the Toughdog Viewer Pro app, which is a free version of our phone app. And that's the only app that we have which packs pretty much all the features, right? So Toughdog Viewer Pro, if you're receiving calls from customers that, hey, my cameras are no longer working, that's because they keep the Toughdog Viewer, but you should ask them to switch to the Toughdog Viewer Pro, okay? So once you've downloaded your Toughdog Viewer Pro app on your Android or iOS device, also the other point to consider is that these wireless units, are only compatible with 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi networks, okay? So if you have a single band router that only does 5G, it's not going to work, okay? So just keep that in mind before we proceed. So once we have everything and everything is good, then you're gonna open up your phone app. Once you open up your phone app, you will have that little plus sign on the top left corner. Okay, so if you notice here, on the phone app, it's actually on the very top right corner, that little plus sign on a circle. So you click on that one. And the next thing to do is the device is going to ask you whether you want to scan or enter the IP domain or online search. For these wireless devices, guys, it's the only way that you're going to get them working is through the SN scan. Okay. Now, this doorbell has the QR code available either in a little sticker in the back or in a sticker inside of the actual box. So scan that QR code so that you can enroll the unit into your phone app. Okay. You can always enter it manually in case that you cannot scan it. It'll give you an option at the bottom, and you can enter the serial number manually. Okay. So once you have done that, then you will see this image on your phone app. So please connect the power and wait for the indicator light to flash blue. So once you power the unit, the doorbell unit, you will see that LED light on the front panel indicating that it is ready for pairing. Okay. If you don't see that light there, please press the reset key and wait for that LED to show up. Okay. Now, once you see that blue LED light, then the doorbell is going to broadcast its own Wi-Fi so that you can connect to it and continue with the pairing process. Okay. So go to your phone app and check for this doorbell Wi-Fi and connect to it. Once you connect to it, then go back into the phone app. If you don't get that little message that says cancel and join, you have to do that manually. You have to go into the settings and then Wi-Fi, select that, connect, and then go back into the actual wizard, setup wizard on the phone app. Okay. Then there you are going to be asked to initialize the device. Many of us or all of us are familiar with the initialization process, which is giving the unit a password, right? A unique password. So it's going to ask you to enter that password and also to enter an email address so that you can recover that password in case that you want to use that email address to retrieve the password for if you forget it in the future, right? So once you've done that, it's going to take you to connect the unit to the local Wi-Fi network that's going to be using, right? So make sure that you select the 2.4 gigahertz, Wi-Fi network, and then select it and enter the password for that particular network. Once you've done that, then you're gonna click next, and the device is pretty much going to be set up. All you have to do now is just name it. You can name it My Home Doorbell or Home Doorbell or Customer, whatever, or ABC Doorbell. You can name it however you want. That this is just to identify whenever you have it in your list, in your main list, okay? And also from there, you go and set up your time zone and your DST, okay? The DST is it's important because if you don't do that, half of a year, you're gonna have the unit with the wrong time. You know, it's gonna be off for 1 hour. So I recommend you to set up the DST. It is optional. If you don't wanna do it, don't do it. But I recommend you to do it, right? So that, and the way that you can do it is, the best way to do it is by week, because by week, you pretty much ensure that for the life of the unit, every year the unit is going to be updated. Maybe you're going to be off for a week or a few days, but for most of the time, you're going to be accurate when it comes to the time. Okay. Once you've done that, then you're going to have to select your chime to finish the process. So if you have an electrical, mechanical chime, or if you have a Wi-Fi chime, which is the DSS11, you could just click there, and with that, everything is going to be done. Okay. If you choose the wrong chime there, whenever you press the button, it's not going to ring your chime, your existing chime, right? If you want to configure, let's say you don't have an electrical or mechanical chime in place, you have the ability to buy a Wi-Fi chime, which is a small device that we sell that you plug into any of the into the regular power outlets in the house, and you click on that Wi-Fi chime, and it'll take you to a 3-step process to enroll this Wi-Fi chime. And with that, that's it. You're pretty much done. Once you click that doorbell, you're going to be receiving notifications. You can also use these buttons here on the phone app to establish communication. If nobody is ringing your doorbell, you want to see what's going on out there, you can go into your doorbell and see it. You can see it on standard definition and then high definition. And you can also take snapshots or record in your cell phone everything that you're seeing on the doorbell. Okay. All right, guys. Any questions about that? The doorbell? Well, we're gonna make some questions, Q&A section at the end of the presentation. So let's continue. The kit. So many of you have seen the kit. This is a great system. Everything comes in a single box, right? The box has a 2-megapixel wide-angle doorbell unit. This is actually a 2.0 millimeter lens, so it is still very, very wide, real nice looking box, right? Also comes with a monitor. In this particular case, this kit is sold as a kit because the doorbell requires the monitor to function. Okay, and same case the other way around. Monitor requires the doorbell. Now, this does not necessarily mean that they're limited to one unit, right? You could put multiple doorbells. You could put multiple intercoms in a single system. So you can have multiple in the same, but you have to have a pair of these at least for them to function correctly, okay? The monitor, it's a 7 inches touch screen, really nice. It also has a micro SD card for the messages. People come in, ring your doorbell. You can, have the unit record a snapshot or a little video. They can leave a message, and you can always go back and check all those messages in there, right? These two units are powered by PoE. So that's why we've added a 4-port PoE switch to the kit, right? So that you can have everything that you need in a single box to power the unit, both units, and then just to bring these to your local area network and get them into your phone app, okay? So here you will see the presentation of the front panel of the unit, the doorbell. We have the microphone at the very top, the camera, and then we have these 3 indicators. One of them, it's going to be the call indicator. Number 2 is going to be the communication indicator, meaning that there's communication that's established. And number 3, it's going to be the unlocked indicator. Remember, this unit has the ability to unlock physical doors as long as they have they're controlled by an access control or a maglock or a door strike or even any other door that will take alarm inputs. You could From then, the doorbell, you can wire it to those units so that you can open them. Even garage doors, you know, or gate operators, you can connect this unit, and from your phone, you can just click on it and open the door. This is the rear side of this, and this is where the magic happens, right? So you get the tamper switch. Somebody comes and tries to steal your doorbell. Well, it's gonna make a noise, right? And then at the bottom, you see your RS-485 communication ports and your normally closed, normally open, and common ports, so that you can have the doors connected to it. And the number 4 is going to be your Ethernet connector, okay? This is what's going to be give this unit power and network, okay? Now the panel, as we said before, it's a very nice looking unit, very sharp, 7-inch touchscreen LED. It's 7-inch touchscreen LED screen. Yeah, I was a little redundant with the screen wording. So once you've seen these 2 units, we're gonna jump into the configuration of it. So one of the best things to do, and our recommendation, is to bench test it before taking it to the customer's location. That way, you can make sure that the units are working fine, and you can also pre-configure them. So if you can do that, it'll be better, so that you can just go to the customer location, pretty much place the units, and you know, let them work. Okay, so remember that for these units to work, you have to give them an IP address. So if you're gonna do that, just make sure that you find out what is the IP address that you're gonna be using for these units. If you have multiple units, you're gonna require multiple IP addresses, okay? If you only have 2 units, then you're only gonna be needing 2 IP addresses, right? So let's say we connect the units, okay? So first thing that we need to do is we need to go into the monitor, right? The monitor, this is the screen that you will see whenever you connect it, okay? And it's going to require you to enter the password twice, so that you can confirm that the password is the same. And then you need to enter an email address. This email address is to retrieve the password in the case that you forget it in the near future, right? So once you're done with this process, you click the OK button and complete the initialization process, right? On the doorbell, okay? Now, once you're done with that, then the system is gonna ask you if you want to do the quick configuration. I recommend you to do this because this is gonna make things simple, right? So if you decide to click OK or not, then cancel it. But let's pretend that we click the OK button, okay? Once you click the OK button, then the system is going to scan your network for additional devices. If you have additional screens, they will all come up here, right? If you have additional doorbells, they will all come up here. Even if you have some other devices, they might come up here. Toughdog devices, they might come up here. If this is a new installation, you will see that all devices that you're installing here are coming up uninitialized, okay? And we want to initialize it. If you only have a single doorbell, you won't see anything else but that single doorbell coming up here and marked as uninitialized, okay? So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we initialize the doorbell or VTO. On the actual unit, the doorbell is going to be labeled as VTO, and the monitor is going to be labeled as VTH, okay? Keep that in mind so that you know what are we talking about. Doorbell, VTO, monitor, VTH, okay? So let's click on initialize so that we can start the process of that. We go to initialize, and same thing. You're going to be required to enter the password twice. so that we can confirm that, and an email, okay? And once you're done with that, then the unit is going to be pretty much done. You're gonna be able to see the camera, okay? But before we can see the camera, we need to configure the monitor, and then we need to configure the VTO or doorbell by giving them an IP address, okay? So how do we do that? Then once we're done with the other steps, we're gonna be sent back to this screen, and our VTH, we're gonna configure it. So we're gonna click on the edit button of that VTH, right? If we have multiple VTHs or monitors, we are going to have to set one as main and then the rest as sub, okay? In this case, we only have one. In the majority of the cases, you're only gonna have one. So make sure that you click on that main little circle there and you check that one there, and then start giving this unit the local IP address that you wanna give, okay? So also, not only the IP address, but the subnet mask and the gateway, it's very important. Once you fill that information, then you click the OK button, and that will complete the monitor configuration, okay? Then you're gonna wanna go back to, you're gonna be sent back to the same screen, and you're gonna click on the edit button here to configure the VTO, okay? Same process. If you only have one unit, you click on the main button, the main check mark, select it, and that will tell the unit that it only has one doorbell, right? Give the doorbell a local IP address, the subnet, the gateway, and also, since we don't use PAL standard, we use NTSC. Make sure you select that NTSC, and from there you go into date format. Normally we do month, day, and year. If you want to have it on 12-hour format or 24-hour, that's completely up to you. Make sure that you put your date and time so that it's always accurate and correct for whenever you want to go and search for recordings, and click the OK button, okay? Once you're done with that, then you should be able to see the doorbell from your monitor. If you want to test that, then you can go out there, tap that doorbell button, and then you will see an image, okay? Now, if you see these two, the camera and the recording keys active, then that means that the VTH has an SD card that's going to be recording. If you don't see these, it's because maybe you're lacking that SD card, okay? So I recommend you to just make sure that these are active so that you can search for messages whenever people leave you messages, okay? How to monitor the doorbell from the monitor? Well, you just have to go there, click monitor, and then click door, and then with that, you can click on that little play button, and you will see the image coming up, okay? If you wanna set this as your favorite, let's say you have multiple cameras or multiple doorbells, you only wanna see one and don't wanna get confused, you can make this your favorite by tapping that little star, gray star over here, okay? All right, so that's for the IP kit. Let's go into the floodlights. Okay, many of you don't know the floodlight. The floodlight, it's a great item that we are selling already. It's very easy to install. It's very cool because it allows you to interact with it. Also, two-way audio, deterrence features. You can trip a siren. You can turn the lights on and off from your cell phone. Like, even let's say you have a backyard, you have a party going on, and you don't have illumination. You could use this, go in there, press the light button, and it'll stay on until you set it off, okay? Many things that you can do with this doorbell, with this floodlight unit. You can also interact with people. Let's say the guy comes to do the lawn and you need them to do something or to be careful with something, then you can just use this one to talk to them, right? And communicate with them remotely, okay? So these floodlights, what does it pack? Well, it is a 1080p full high definition video. As I said before, it's got two-way talk, active deterrence, micro ISD card slot for local recordings. It's got the Wi-Fi 2x2 MIMO, multiple inputs, multiple outputs. It's got the H.265 codec and multiple lighting modes. As I was saying before, you could do flashlight, or you could just turn it on from your cell phone. And of course, this is IP65, so it's safe to install it in the outdoors. Okay. This is just a little description of the unit. The floodlights. It's got a lens. It's got the built-in mic right on top of it. LED indicator for whenever there is motion. You will see a LED indicator, showing that there is motion. During the day, the lights are not going to turn on. This is only at night. Okay, so when you see motion at night, the lights will come on. And this is also the camera. So in the camera, you have the reset button, the micro SD card slot, and on the back of the unit, you got the photo sensor. So this is going to tell the camera, hey, now it's time to turn the lights on whenever there's motion, and turn the lights off whenever there's enough light for the camera to see correctly. Okay, and the built-in speaker. It's a loudspeaker. So anybody within I'd say 30 feet from the camera can hear the camera. Notice that the camera is seeing you, right? Now this reset button has a dual purpose. The reset button here will allow you to activate the WPS feature on the camera if your router has WPS for easy pairing. Okay, if the router does not have the WPS, then you may not have a use for that button. Okay, but if you want to also reset the unit, you can press that button for 10 seconds, and then the unit will go back to factory default. Okay. Now, what's in the box with this unit? Well, you get your floodlight camera, the mounting plate, the screw package, your manual, a hook so that whenever you're installing it, you can just hang it from the ceiling so you can use both hands, mounting screws, the bracket screws, and the wire nuts. So this particular unit is a little bit different than the rest of the surveillance camera that you're used to install, right? This unit will be connected directly to the AC power from the existing floodlights. If you don't have AC power, then you might as well call the electrician so that you can get an electrical line out and connect this unit to it. This is not going to be PoE. This is not going to have any Ethernet cable on it. This is not going to have 12 volt DC. This is going to be connected directly to the AC power. Okay. Now, one of the things is that if you're replacing the floodlights and the floodlights are in a switch, make sure that that switch stays on, because if you power that or switch it off, then the unit is going to be completely powered down, and you're not going to be able to record anything or access it. Okay, so if you leave the unit on, the camera is going to stay on 24/7, and the LED lights are not going to come up unless unless there's not sufficient light, or in other words, unless it's nighttime. Okay, so this is just a small diagram on how will you install this unit. So you will get basically your existing floodlights out of these. You will disconnect, and remember that the recommendation is always to power off the breaker that's powering these units, your floodlights, so that there is no potential shock or short on these units, on either of these units. So disconnect the existing floodlight you will get these three cables, right? And then these three cables are the ones that are going to be connected to your floodlights. Now, SD card installation, well, it's really easy actually. You will see that lead on the camera itself. You notice it here. So you'll get your flat, screwdriver and twist and slide the cover on the top of the camera so that you can access the SD card slot. Once you can access the SD card slot, then you'll just have to insert the SD card and push it until you hear a little click, and with that, that's going to be it. You're going to put back the cover and slide it back in place so that it is safe and protected from the environment. Okay. So this is just a little, a guide on how to mount the camera to the wall. I'm not going to go into all the details of it because we're a little bit tight on time. But as we showed before, you have to get rid of your existing floodlight, and then, of course, power needs to be cut so that you don't have any potential problems. And then once the cables are exposed, then you can connect your camera, right? This is the little hook that you could use to, hang it from the ceiling. And with that, you can use both your hands. You don't have to be holding one, right? Especially if you're on top of a ladder. The copper wire ground will connect to the main ground wire. The white wire will connect to the neutral wire, and then the black wire is going to go into the main live wire, right? This is just regular AC installation, right? Then once you're connected, fully connected with the wire nuts and everything, you push your wires back, and then you put the camera and use the main screw to tighten that camera to the wall, okay? Once you're done with that, then you can adjust your lights and your camera to your desired precision. Make sure that it covers whatever it is that you want to cover. And with that, you're done. You're pretty much done. So after installation, we want to connect this unit to the wire, to the Toughdog Viewer Pro app. This is going to be a very similar process than the one from the Doorbell, okay? So make sure that also you are on a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi network. No 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi network will take this unit. So once you have your Toughdog Viewer app, then you're gonna go into that little plus sign, select serial number scan, right? So you're gonna scan the QR code that comes in the camera. It might be in the back of the camera. It might be in the actual box of the camera. You will see that QR code. You can scan it so that you can connect to it, okay? Choose wireless camera. That's what you're gonna be doing. And again, scan that QR code. You can manually enter it as well. Once you're done with that, then you're gonna have to, you're gonna see these setup wizard process, and it's actually very similar, as I said, to the TDI-PVCA, the doorbell. Okay, so you're gonna have to connect the unit. In case that you don't see the indicator, you're gonna open up the lid here, reset the camera, and wait until you see that indicator to connect. Okay. Enter the password to initialize the unit. Select the Wi-Fi, then enter the password, and with that, you're pretty much going to be done, okay? You just have to name the device however you want. Hey, backdoor, floodlights, however you want to name it, so that you can identify it whenever you have, your cameras here. You can just, even though it's going to give you a picture of what it looks like, that's going to help you a lot. But the name is going to be right there on top so that you can tap on it, okay? So once you're done with that, then you should be able to access your camera, right? And receive notifications and all that. But let's configure the alarms. So in order for you to get the most juice out of the unit, you want to make sure you configure the alarms and as much as you can so that you can use the unit and get the most out of it. So how are we going to do it? In this case, we have our phone app, with the list. If you want to have the different view, you can actually tap on this little icon right here, over here. I don't know if you can see it. If you tap on that particular one, then you migrate from the list to the views side of things, okay? That will help you, choose cameras easier. And for the recorders, if you have multiple cameras on the recorders, you can just easily go and choose a camera and then just connect to it, okay? So if you're seeing on the list or if you're on the list or on the view section, you will still see the all button here and then the 3 dots. You want to tap on those 3 dots and then choose device details. Once you go to device details, then all this is going to come up: device configuration, notifications, alarm ringtone settings, arming settings, floodlight, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's go into the notifications. So we go into notifications and we're going to enable notifications. Once notifications is enabled, then that activate the notifications from the PIR, right? Then we're going to go back to the previous screen by tapping on the little left arrow in the upper left corner. And then here you will get the alarm ringtone setting, okay? So that you can link it to the alarm trigger and get the siren to sound, right? So here, I think this is just repeating itself. So, okay, so here, when you tap the siren sound to set the sound for siren, it says you can add, once you click on the siren, you can tap that little plus sign and then configure how much time you want the siren to sound, okay? So with that, you could have reduced the time that the siren is sounding and also or increase the amount of the siren. Let's say you're not at home, right? You don't want the siren to go off just by a couple of seconds. Maybe you want the siren to stay there for a longer period of time, so that whoever is trying to do something wrong, notices that there's something sounding and then they take off, right? So once you're done with that, then you click your left arrow just to go back to regular, right? Then if you want to configure motion detection, you can always go back into notifications and then enable motion detection. And then you can also select your area, right? So if we go into motion detection area, then the camera is going to give you a view, okay? So you may not necessarily want the camera to be capturing motion detection all over the place. So you might want to mask out some of these areas over here. So you can actually use your finger to unmark certain parts of the camera, so that you only get notification whenever some people come into specific areas, and you don't have the camera bugging you all the time. All right. So that's something pretty cool that you can do with that camera, right? If for some reason, oh, I made a mistake, and you wanna go back to normal, you can always click that clear button and or the erase button to go back to default and then do it again. But one of the important things is, once you're done with that, don't press the arrow button before you press the save button. If you don't press the save button, it's not going to store, okay? you are gonna have to do it again, okay? So here, once you've saved that, then you're gonna go back into arming, and then you can actually mess with the sensitivity of the PIR, so that, you know, if you have a lot of people going on, or if you don't want to be receiving a lot of false notifications, maybe you can actually mess with it to adjust it to where you need it to be, okay? Okay, now configuring the floodlights. So it is very, very cool that you can also configure the floodlight. You go back into your list of devices, click on those three dots, device details, and then select the floodlight, okay? Once you're under floodlight, then you will see that you have motion activation, and also you could do manual, you could do dusk to dawn, and you could do regular motion activation. You know, dusk to dawn will be really cool, because with that, you know that you'll only get notifications when, or the floodlight to be on when there's not enough light, okay? So that's when you turn on the lights based on motion, right? And also you can change your, you know, length of the time that the lights are going to come on, okay? So also you can trigger the LED light, as I was saying before, from your phone app, okay? So if you have, let's say, let me see if I can show you this here. Oh, but it's going to be day, so I'm not going to be able to, you guys are not going to be able to see that. But here we can illustrate it. Well, actually, it's here too. So let's say you want to see your floodlight, right? So you click there, press on that button, you bring up your video, right? And then once you bring your video, you see that at the bottom it says Smart Functions. If you click on that one, you will get the, I don't know if you can see it there, maybe too white, right? Yeah, there you go. You see the little bell and the little light bulb, right? So the light bulb is going to help you turn the LED lights on, and they will stay on until you go back and turn them off. The other one, the little doorbell, or the little bell there, I'm sorry, will help you trigger the siren on the actual floodlight. So if you're seeing something that should not be happening or whatever, or you want to call anybody's attention, you can actually just manually go there and press either or button, and the camera will respond to you, okay? You can also configure the PIR region, okay? Under the floodlight, you can always go in there and configure the PIR region, and it's divided by 3 zones. Zone 1.
Yes. No. Jorge, I'm sorry, I muted you. Can you unmute yourself?
Okay. Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
Awesome. Okay, so the floodlight, you can always go and again configure your PIR by section. This is pretty cool because you can also, tell, hey, I just want you to focus on the right area, the front area, or the left area, and also, measure the intensity of the PIR. I think that this is really nice that you can do that from the phone app. Okay. So, and also you can tell the camera how long do you want the LED floodlights to come up based on the PIR detection. Okay. So with that, you get your floodlight camera, up and running, and I guess we are done. So right on time, 12:54. I know it was a little intense, guys, too much information, but I think that this could give you a very good idea on what to do whenever you're out there installing any of these devices. You know, once you open up the boxes and are ready to, you know, put them up, you're gonna be remembering like, oh, you know what? I think that, you know, I need to do this, I need to do that. I need to be in the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. This is how I do it on the phone app. But also, we're gonna make sure that this video is available on our website so that you can always go back and check it out, okay? In addition to that, in our website, we're trying to put all the quick installation guides so that you can go to the device and then just download the quick installation guide, and you are gonna see a lot of the steps that I, you know, covered today. So I really hope that this presentation was, you know, helpful to you, was informational. Now we can actually leave the last 5 minutes for Q's and A's. So guys, in any questions that you may have regarding these products, you know, something that I didn't cover or anything, please feel free to ask any questions. Or if you cannot, you know, talk, maybe you want to use the chat to ask questions. I actually see that Juan Carlos posted there. It says, if for some reason the phone is connected to the 5G Wi-Fi, please switch it to 2.4G before start the procedure. Yeah, that is very important. That's key, guys. All of these devices, Wi-Fi devices, are 2.4 compatible only, okay? So keep that in mind.